mayere uyo uko kuno aho pano mamuona kere nai anno pura meso anno pura nzebe anno kaya marigi kama kweto tikom wengere doti komu usasaire kama kwe anno kaya marigi
kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugova ne.com kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanoziya mari kamba kwe.
Right, 24 January 2022, and I'm joined by my usual guest, Dr. Fedias Mteneri from Botswana. How are you, sir?
Gamba, I'm very, very well and very excited. Happy to see you this evening. Good evening to all our viewers.
Okay, you should say good evening to Prophet Gambakwe, because last week I told you that Chamisa would not be able to stand the heat and he's going to make a change to his name. Did you see what happened today?
Gamba, it depends on where you are standing, and definitely what I can only comment is that I want to congratulate Advocate Nelson Chamisa and his party for daring the devil and commit to change. And what
let's go into the announcement. Let's go to the announcement before, because there's some people who haven't seen it. Let's make them hear it.
But there are times when an old dog has to become new, and that's why we must listen to the citizen, and that's why the new outfit has a perfect and beautiful name: the Citizen Coalition for Change.
Doc, when I saw this and the communication that came later, I felt sorry for Chamisa because someone is playing a joke on him. I want to show you something. This is Chamisa's new logo, right?
Yes.
Now let's go to President Idim Nangagwa's logo. Do you see the joke that they've played on Chamisa?
There is no joke, Gambakwe, and I just want to bring to your attention that the colors that the coalition the Citizens Coalition for Change have decided to use are part of our national emblem. They are to be found on our national flag, and they do not belong to ZANU-PF. Remember, whatever people might say, it's Nelson Chamisa has dared whosoever. ZANU-PF might use part of yellow, but they almost use all the colors on the national flag. And what can stop Nelson Chamisa from using any other color?
It's a disaster, Doc. In terms of branding, there will be no difference between a ZANU-PF person and an MDC person. And I know exactly where those colors came from. Fadzai Mahere, in 2018, she was contesting with these colors, the yellows. Are you seeing the colors that Fadzai was using?
I can see the picture you are putting on.
Yes, I can say for a fact that Mahere is the one who came up with these colors. Look at this. This is a disaster because the brand identity of Chamisa in terms of his branding, his colors, it's totally lost. He's now been absorbed by the ZANU-PF colors. What Ostalos had initially put out. So this new name is Citizens Coalition for Change. Ostalos had put Citizen Actions for Change. We talked about this last week. These were the colors that Ostalos had suggested last week. Do you remember this discussion we had?
Yeah.
So what Maher has done is she overpowered Ostalos and she put her own yellow colors onto the new brand, because over the weekend, and we published this over the weekend, the National Council of the MDC Alliance, the last meeting that they had, they failed to agree on a name. And they ended up doing this in a rush because they realized that they were going to the nomination court without a name. And this is why I'm saying this is a disaster. And Chamisa will soon realize this when the time to campaign comes. When your people are walking around trying to campaign, their shirts are going to look exactly like the ZANU-PF shirts. The colors, the blacks, the reds, and even the logos, the way they've written it, it will be almost like President Mnangagwa's campaign identity. So he does not have an outstanding identity in terms of the colors that he has chosen. I think Doc, you have to give it to me.
Not at all, Gamba. I would say actually I'm flabbergasted, but not shocked with that kind of analysis at a juncture which I think is historic, a juncture which is very, very important, particularly for the voter in Zimbabwe. I think you are trying to divert into a sideshow of a non-existent contradiction, for which I have clearly told you that the color yellow, a wholesome yellow or gold, is a national color, and for you to try and divert and link it to ZANU-PF, I think it just feeds into the whole story of the past. But here is the new. Gambakwe, I want to tell you that the politics of Zimbabwe had become so toxic that the kind of talk, probably like you are saying, is what we have been used to. Our leaders, our institutions, and even the opposition as represented by Douglas Monzora and his MDC, I don't know which one he is going to dwell for, had actually become a representation of moral decay in our country. Why do I say moral decay? I look at the dishonesty in which the aspiring leaders had become so accustomed to. The cheating, the jealousies on account of a political name. Look at the way they were jostling at every moment to tackle Nelson Chamisa. But one thing you can see behind all that was the dishonesty, that they, what I can call the kind of Machiavellianism kind of politics, in which politics by any means, however unscrupulous. Now today, Nelson Chamisa has launched something new. I know it will face attack. It has to face attack. It has to be scrutinized, like you are starting right now, to put a very petty debate on the color that Mahere used and the color that you think Ostalos used, pitting against people who have come up with something new. I think today Nelson Chamisa has dared to breathe new life into the politics. And I'm liking actually the way he has announced it, that we are bringing in the politics in which the citizen is at the center. And
Doc,
obviously,
let me stop you. Let me stop you, Doc.
No, Gambakwe. I have not stopped you when you were speaking. You spoke for quite 5 minutes and I was listening. All I want to say is that today our discussion, in fact, should now focus on issues. What is the new philosophy of the MDC? Are they going to articulate? They articulate it today. How are they going to articulate it so that the electorate can come to understand what they represent? I don't want us today to discuss the color yellow. The electorate knows its leadership. And Nelson Chamisa today and his team, they have shown that they are not scared of change, that they are the ones who can lead a change. And today they have dared to do something that other political parties can't do, to start something new. And and they will be rewarded. And so,
Okay.
Gambakwe, today, the
I hear
discussion
you,
is
Doc.
not about the color that Mahere used at some time. No one owns the color, and the yellow, that the gold that the CCC is using is quite unique and unique to themselves.
Okay, Doc, there's a young Zimbabwean who is here in South Africa who did a degree, a master's, and he did his thesis or dissertation on the impact of the color red. You should Google it, on cells. You should Google it. I love branding, so I know what this means. What Chamisa has done here, Doc, let's disagree or agree. It's a disaster. They will have to change this. I will give you a few weeks. They will change these colors because these are family ZANU-PF colors. Now let's go to another aspect, the slogan. I want to show you why it's even a bigger disaster.
Shanduko Zimbabwe. Shanduko Zimbabwe. Shanduko Zimbabwe. 2023. 2023. 2023. 2023. A great new Zimbabwe. Thank you very much.
Do you know whose slogan that is?
Go ahead.
I'm saying, do you know whose slogan that is? That what they just said in the beginning there. That is the Mamjuru slogan from 2018. You should go check it out. Whoever did this to Chamisa is playing a trick on him, is playing a joke on him, because they are putting him in the path of a joke, people to make a joke of him. The transformation that they did today was not well thought out, and I do not think they thought about it properly. And to make matters worse, they did not even go through the process of consulting with the structures. There is no one who knew about these structures. There's no one who talked about these structures. And the guys I talked to, they do not know who is going to be in the leadership of the new CCC as we speak right now. Are you aware that the new CCC, which was announced today, has got no structures, has got no leadership team?
Gambakwe, that is a perception. I know. In fact, I'm actually sickened by that kind of analysis. In that, in as much and as you yourself, when I say you, I mean you, Gambakwe, has been advocating for Nelson Chamisa to change, and you constantly told me here on the station that Nelson Chamisa is slow to make decisions. Nelson Chamisa does not have a strategy, and they kept quiet. Here today, a watershed moment for them and for all Zimbabweans. They have made a decision. Obviously, you will not be tired to criticize. For me, I in as much as criticism, as much as it holds water, I love it. But sometimes let's applaud where people deserve to be, to be applauded. Listen, Gambako. It doesn't matter what you are talking about. Building a new party comes with all those kind of criticisms you are bringing. Once again, you want to bring me to a debate of this slogan is for so and so, this slogan is for so and so. The most important thing is the substance of what they are making. The most important thing, give it some few days. All they need to do is now to articulate the party's philosophy, and within time they will set out what their leadership is. But as you all know, they are moving from the MDC alliance structure, which had its own hierarchy, which had its own presidency, the vice presidents, and a structure. And it would be naive for you to think that they just come into the Citizens Coalition for Change without a structure. Obviously, they will maintain whatever they have, but for the purposes of of whatever constitutional requirements that their new party has. I mean, new structures will be announced either by unanimous decision that we maintain what we had into the new. So that is there is no debate there. The most important thing is that a leadership came together, came about with a new name, came about with a new constitution. And if what we had today is anything to go by, that even ZEC were trying to block them or try to put spanners in the work, it shows you how this decision is of tsunami proportions, of earthquake proportions to ZANU-PF and its puppet institutions, which might have wanted to see them in disarray. What it means is that, remember, they recently registered some shadowy people who came with a CCC, Citizen Convergence for Change. And today's change, they did not foresee it. They did not think that Nelson Chamisa and his team will come up with something that is unique. But give them time. Give them time. Very soon, I'm sure they will take this name out there, and the election coming on the 26th of March will show everybody out there that Chamisa is the only hope for Zimbabwe. And indeed, he is the only hope for Zimbabwe.
Okay, I do not agree with you on a number of points. Specifically, I want to look at the impact of this change of name. A lot of people are going to be recalled who don't want to be recalled. Job Scala is going to be recalled. Joanna Mamombe is going to be recalled. And I saw Chamisa standing there with people like Denford Ngadzore, a very corrupt person, in his behind him there. I think,
but you have to substantiate. You have to, those are allegations, huge allegations for which you have to substantiate by facts.
In fact, an O-level certificate. He was in court for faking an O-level certificate to go into university.
Was he convicted? Was he convicted?
It's in Google it. You will find it. I don't even have to justify myself.
If he hasn't been convicted, it's an allegation and it remains what it is.
Okay, we've raised this a number of times. All I'm trying to say to you is, Chamisa, what he has done here, especially the colors, the branding, is terrible. It's horrible. I cannot support this same colors with the opponent. This is terrible, and this is amateurish work. Someone did not do a good job. Doc, you are a professional, you are an academic. There are some things that you need to agree that they are not okay. They are not. They show lack of preparation. They show lack of thinking.
But Gamba, yellow is not ZANU-PF's sole color. ZANU-PF uses green, gold, and many other colors that they use. In fact, to a larger extent, they have got their green, gold, and stuff like that. So if they are going to take all the colors that they are, you mean no other party will take those colors? Had Nelson Chamisa probably chosen blue, people were going to say, is it there on our national flag? What does it represent? Probably if he had taken orange, people would have said you are copying parties in Kenya and stuff like that. Let's not dwell on the minor. Talking tonight about the color yellow is a minor debate. I thought today you will engage me on the fact that what does the new announcement today, in fact, the biggest announcement so far south of the Sahara, what does it mean for the Zimbabwean? What does it mean for what, in terms of changing people's lives? Remember, this is a man who has been under siege. This is a party that has been under siege for the past 2.5 years, and they have survived today. Watch. For you to think that that yellow will work in favor of ZANU-PF could be naive. Watch the space. There is a conversation we had sometime last year, it should be in May or June, in which I told you, when we were discussing about Jonathan Moyo, who he is, I told you that there is a coalition of some sort. If you still remember, you can go back. that is coming into the works. That coalition, for me, it brings all citizens, even those who are in ZANU-PF, for the record. And I want you to mark this, Gamba. If you think that yellow is going to work against him, there is a huge chunk of ZANU-PF people who would be very much attracted by that yellow because it attracts them. In fact, let me tell you, this is a masterstroke by Nelson Chamisa. The colors, everything, it embraces whatever is in ZANU-PF. It embraces what is in the MDC. It embraces every citizen. And if you think yellow is going to be a disaster because it is ZANU-PF, watch ZANU-PF, which is disintegrated today, which has got a G40 which is out there. ZANU-PF, which is fighting today, getting so much attracted to the new colors that MDC, the former MDC alliance has brought into the Citizens Coalition. So to disagree with you, I think not only is this a masterstroke, it has been engineered by people who know how to unsettle ZANU-PF. And ZANU-PF right now, they are quaking, if you ask me.
Okay, Doc, let's leave that to a few weeks from now when the by-elections happen. We are going to be back here talking about this. To me, remember, I'm giving my opinion on these colors, on the slogan, on the process used. Chamisa has made a mistake in my view. He's not thought about it deeply. And Mahere's influence in the MDC or in the CCC is going to emerge. She is very, very influential. These colors, this branding is coming from Mahere. I've got no doubt about it. And people are going to rebel against it.
Gamba, once again, like I said, except if you can give evidence to that. Let's not parochialize a very important occasion today on a very, very parochial and narrow debate of a particular color. Like I told you, this is a coalition. Have you ever imagined, Gamba, as you are sitting there, what coalition? It's coalition of citizens. Citizens come from every sector of our society. They come from civil society. They come from political parties. They come from wherever, and ZANU-PF included. And this is a coalition. And like I said, for you to allocate the color yellow to Mahere alone, one could say Simba Makoni once used it, didn't he? Someone could say somebody else used any other color. But for me, Citizens Coalition for Change and bringing in such colors, it's such a thoughtful process in which you are going to see it works more to the advantage of this new coalition and more so against ZANU-PF. Because
okay, let's have a bet. Let's have a bet. I'm betting to you that within the next 6 months, Chamisa and his team are going to change this color, and they're going to be using either this blue or this pink, which is on the left, or I don't know if it's pink or whatever. But the yellow definitely is going to go. There's no one in MDC or in CCC who is going to allow this. And as I said to you, yes.
Gamba, actually, I want to run away from your bet. That I'm not even going to involve myself in that bet, but you have said it's now on record. But one thing I can tell you is that within the same 6 months you are talking about, I can bet with you that you will see some people that you would have never thought will join the Citizens Coalition. You will see a huge campaign supported by probably people that you have never known. In fact, for me, it's an exciting political season because it has got every sign that it includes many people who do not have political homes. From what has been said out there, I can assure you today, in the 6 months you have talked about, mark my words, Gambakwe, this coalition will be supported by people, big people, even that you would have never thought would do that. But it's never about big people. It's always about the grassroots, and the grassroots are going to support this coalition, because in any case, it is about citizens. And in fact, I can see a trajectory, a philosophy in which they are moving, that they are trying to put the citizen at the center. Look at the way they are trying to choose their MPs. They have tried to move away from the toxic methods of the primaries and gone for unanimity. They have, therefore they are making the citizens within a community choose whosoever they want. And I think they are breathing a new kind of politics, which is what we want. I know, like you say, you are betting that in 6 months no one in the CCC will accept this. For me, that you are trying to think that this political party is owned by certain individual. It is a non-starter at all. I think those people who might not agree with the name, who exist probably in your head or wherever you get that, I think will find themselves in the cold out there. I honestly think that there are some debates, there are some narratives and which are created in the media, which are non-existent at all on the ground. And Gambakwe, I want to congratulate Nelson Chamisa for this bold decision and his team. I think for all his quietness over the past 3.5 years, he has responded to his friends and foes that he is still there and that he has a strategy. In fact, Gambako, one thing you don't understand is that now ZANU-PF is in 6s and 7s because they don't know what his strategy is. They do not know what's up after this. And let's watch. I think enough is enough. This was the announcement they made today, that we are now moving with the new. And for me, one thing as piece of advice is that they should now go out there, a scorched earth policy kind of campaign for now. And the by-election is there as an acid test, as a litmus test for them. And they build up from there. And it comes in all handy. Meanwhile, Douglas Monzora, he has got a fight on his hands with Madam Coupe there. I think that man has had a carpet snatched under his feet, and we want to see what he's going to do now. Now that he thought fighting against Nelson Chamisa for the name will keep him afloat. Now we want to see how he will float. Whether ZANU-PF should.
You know what I would do if I was Monzora? You know what I would do if I was Monzora? Tomorrow morning, I would wake up and I'll go and recall Coupe. I'll recall.
No, you go and claim that he is now yellow. You go and say, now I'm also yellow.
I want him to write a bunch of recall letters from the MDC, from the CCC guys. Do you know that Scala works for Monzora? Like in real life, he works for his firm. His law firm.
Gambabwe, our toxic politics in Zimbabwe today, we have been told that even you, my brother, if we come from the same house and we have two different political parties, people have come to think that that is impossible. No, it is possible, Gambakwe. Gambakwe, you are my friend. You can hold your own political opinions, and I can hold mine. There is nothing wrong with that. If Sikala works with Douglas Monzora in the same firm, it's a professional relationship. It's not a political relationship. And there is nothing wrong at all in doing that. But the point I'm saying is that Douglas Monzora now will face his Waterloo. He will now face his last moment. He will be buried politically. And you
Okay,
realize
so
that,
this is now about Monzora, because this is the mistake that I see people making. Chamisa just scored an own goal with his colors, with his slogan, with the unprocedural change of name. And he's a disaster because there's no party structures. And you're blaming Monzora for that.
I'm not blaming Monzora. All I am saying is that Monzora now has nowhere to float, because he thought every day he fought Nelson Chamisa about the party name, about the party, you know, the party Morgan Trangirai house, and whenever he fought Nelson Chamisa about the financing from the political parties finance, every time he fought Nelson Chamisa, it gave him relevance. In fact, he was piggybacking on Nelson Chamisa himself. And now Nelson Chamisa today threw a kitchen sink at him and say, okay, remain with it. So now you know what is on contest is political capital. Who has it? And so all I am saying is that tough luck for people like Douglas Monzora. He will purely follow his predecessors who have walked the same way of selling out to the citizens. Nelson Chamisa today decided to break away from toxicity and start afresh a new page, for which he is going to be judged for what he is going to build from now moving into the future.
Okay, Doc, this has been an interesting discussion. And guys, I'm so sorry I can't read all the comments. We've got 728 comments, and it's too much for me to read today. Let us bring this to an end, Doc. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Gamba, all I want to say to you today is that today is an exciting day in opposition politics. It is exciting in the sense that Nelson Chamisa has decided to take the war, the political war, to his opponents, and he has done it on his terms. He didn't succumb to the calls at the time he was told to change the party name. They have done it. They have gone with the constitution. They have registered a new political party. Now, it is going to show who has got the political capital in this country. It is going to show that Nelson Chamisa has the capital of 1999. Remember, 1999, September, the MDC was formed. In 2000, few months later, they gave ZANU-PF a defeat of their life in the constitutional referendum. A few months later, again in the parliamentary election, they gave ZANU-PF a run for their money when they won about 57 to 62 seats in the parliament. In the next election of 2002, in the presidential election, we know what ZANU-PF did, and that challenge, that presidential challenge, is still rotting in the court today, because Nelson Chamisa Morgan Trangirai gave Robert Mugabe a defeat of his life. 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002 is upon us. And what I can only do is to encourage people out there to go and vote, and let's have an exciting political and election season come the by-elections, and come 2023. Zimbabwe is on the cusp and on a brink of a major change. And that's a bet I can give to you, Gambakwe, today.
Thank you very much, Doc. And thank you to everyone who's watching. Let's watch these new developments. And I think the ball is now in Senator Douglas Monzora's court. He is going to have a field day with these guys in terms of recalling them, because they're now in the new party, CCC. So all those who've been refusing to step down from parliament, it will be done for them. And we have,
just as a last comment, comment, Gambakwe, I don't think if Douglas Monzora, if ever someone advises him, in fact, this is not the time for him to be making any recall, because he will be further digging his own grave. Because remember, the recalling that he has been doing helped to gain even more sympathy to Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa didn't need to talk. Nelson Chamisa spoke very less over these past 2.5 years. But Douglas Monzora by the stupidity of his actions, in fact, campaigned for Nelson Chamisa. Every day he recalled people who were voted, MPs who were voted by the people. He decampaigned himself. So if you want to dig deep and be buried deep in his political grave, let him tomorrow make those recalls. In fact, I'm sure his good political advisors are telling him that, relax, now keep the cool, because you have everything to lose. And Nelson Chamisa and those other MPs have nothing to lose with a year to a watershed election in 2023.
Thank you very much, Doc, and good night to everybody.
There will be no confusion. This is not the first time that there has been, movements that purport to call themselves the real opposition. It's not the first time, so let's not behave as though it is. Let's not create a storm in a teacup. Is it calling a party Chamisa? No. It's about changing the fundamentals around which the electoral process is conducted.
The MDC is a brand that was built over 20 years of existence. So it's like Coca-Cola. Anyone from Cairo to Cape Town will know the MDC, will know Morgan Tsvangirai, will know Nelson Chamisa. So those who are pushing us, they're desperate, they're desperate. But of course, we'll consult our people in due course, and we'll make the right decisions in the best interest of the people of Zimbabwe.
But there are times when an old dog has to become new. And that's why we must listen to the citizen. And that's why the new outfit has a perfect and beautiful name, the Citizen Coalition for Change. Shanduko Zimbabwe! Shanduko Zimbabwe! Shanduko Zimbabwe! Vota Zimbabwe, vota! 2023! 6 million votes! 2023! 2023! 2023!
Uyo uko kuno aho